Hey, Tampa Bay, welcome to the Business Happy Hour, your number one show for all things business and entrepreneurial. I am your host, Frank Cotto, the owner of Lincoln Lending Group and 813mortgage.com. The one, the only.
We're back.
We're back as a team now.
Yes, we are.
You hear that voice, guys? You know who that is?
Yeah.
That's Jason J-Mac McIntosh.
Always good to be back.
The Pinnacle award-winning Macintosh Group.
Yes, it's got a nice ring. It
does.
I just love the way you say that every week.
Pinnacle.
And Frank the Bank Cotto.
I love the music.
His money doesn't jiggle, it closes.
And folds.
Yeah, and closes. And the rates don't stink. That's Frank the Bank.
That's right. It's been a couple weeks since we back together.
Yeah, Frank, you took a little trip, didn't you?
I did. A couple trips,
Tell us where you went. What did you do?
We did St. Lucia.
Wow,
we
nice.
did that
I've
with
been
the
there.
family. It was pretty nice.
Beautiful, right?
Adventure Island, right?
Yes.
It's like a rainforest and mountain and
Island
all that.
time, man.
It's Island time, man.
Yeah, nobody's in a hurry there.
No, it's everything Yaman. Yaman. My kids were saying Yaman for a week. And then we went to Aruba,
Jamaica. Ooh, I want to take you
to Bermuda.
Bahama. Pretty
Come
mama.
on, pretty mama.
Something like that.
Yeah, we're pretty good.
We won't quit our day jobs.
No, but we do have a good beat behind us at all times.
Absolutely.
Aruba's a desert. Did you know that?
It is.
It was flat.
It's very sandy.
Very sandy.
Shout out to Rhino is in the house. Producer Rhino.
Ryan O.
Rhino Creative.
Yes.
He's here making us look beautiful.
I can't hear you, Ryo. What was that? What'd you say?
I know.
Look at
He
all
said
them cameras
something.
he's got going, man. You can see us three ways.
That is great.
You forgot the Facebook Live, but we'll get in on it a little later in the next segment.
How about the second segment?
There we go.
We'll go Facebook. Hey, I want to give a little shout out to one of our listeners, Jay. We have a listener named Patty. She's listened to us for years.
Shout out, Patty.
Yeah,
Thanks
her and
for
her
the
husband
support.
Ed. They love our show. I talked to him yesterday.
Amazing. Good.
She said, "Man, your show is so exciting. We love listening to you guys." I said, "Man, how do you like the real Business Happy Hour 2.0?"
That's right.
Better than 1.0.
Yes, new and improved.
New and improved.
Real Biz Happy Hour. And if you would like to be a guest and join in on the action, it is 813-566-REAL, REAL. We always keep it real here at the Real Biz Happy Hour.
We sure do. And we love, if you can't tell, we love doing this.
Absolutely.
We
It's a
have fun.
passion.
No matter how hungover.
And they don't pay us to do this.
No,
actually, we
they
got to
don't.
pay to do it.
I was going to say, kind of the other way around.
Yes.
But, we love doing it. We love helping our listeners. You know who we love really helping?
Veterans.
I didn't even set that up for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Veterans.
So,
here we go.
yes, it's a red, white, and blue explosion. And we are, listen,
The home of the free.
because of the brave.
That's right. Now, I want to talk
Man,
about.
oh man.
We had a very brave veteran that
sure
you
clap.
and I met. That's right. Big clap.
Oh, Barry the veteran.
Barry the veteran.
He'll be on next week.
That's right.
Stay tuned for that one. That's going to be a good one. What a great story. What a feel-good story. How did that all go about?
Well, we did a lunch and learn at the VA.
Yes, we did.
Which was beautiful. We had probably, 20 people in the room.
Yeah.
And Barry, I'll never forget, Barry stood up.
Yeah.
And like the first, it was almost like you're in church and they're like, come on down if you want to. And he stood up and says, I want to buy a house.
He said, I came with a purpose.
That's right.
He said we were the answer to his prayers.
And tell us about, because Barry was different, right? Barry wasn't renting.
No, Barry was actually a displaced veteran staying in shelters, so technically homeless.
Right.
Barry didn't have a home.
Now, I bet
and he's never used his VA loan until now.
No. And
now he's not homeless, he's homeful.
He's homeful. He is a homeowner.
Yes, he
now.
is.
Where did he buy? Sun City Center?
Sun City Center. He's got everything he needs right there in his backyard.
And we'll save the rest of the story for next week.
Yeah,
right?
spoiler alert. You got to stay tuned to
new
that
angle
one.
to this. But we took a homeless veteran, and in just over 30 days, he now is living in the beautiful Sun City Center. Probably never thought he could have done that.
Happy. We've changed his life.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. He's so happy to.
Puts a smile on my face every day that I think of Barry the veteran.
Yeah.
And y'all are going to meet him next week, so stay tuned for that.
So let's talk about how that whole thing went down. So we actually had a relationship that we met from the Strawberry Festival. Right. So the Macintosh Group took over the Strawberry Festival back in whenever that was, and we got
February.
a chance to meet a lot of great people. Rhino Productions was in the house. We got some good video. We met Ashley Sard down there.
That's right.
Department of Women's Veteran Affairs.
And Robin,
And Robin and all of them. And so They came on the show. We did the lunch and learn, and the rest is history.
Yeah.
All about relationships and partnerships and just feel good stories.
That's right. That's right. And
Giving back.
I was talking to Jay the other day about it. Is our time is pretty valuable. Time is money, and we had no problem volunteering our time. And when you do that, and you see something like this happen, it fulfills you, right?
Yes.
It's just, man, it was worth every penny, even if it's just one homeowner.
Yeah,
it was
well.
worth
That's the mindset that you have to have.
Right.
It's people over paycheck, and the mindset any business owner has is there is no guarantee at the end of the day that you're going to get a paycheck.
Right.
But if you do it for the right reasons, there's plenty of
Yeah,
opportunities.
you and I probably collective spent with Ryan as well, Rhino Productions. We probably collectively have spent, I'd say, 11, 12 hours over at the VA. And you and I did it out of volunteer.
Yeah.
We hoped we could help some veterans and make some money along the way, but it could have not turned out that way.
No, it was in the spirit of giving.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you give, it usually comes back.
We gave and we received, and so did they.
So did Barry.
They received the service and the representation that they deserve.
Yep. And by the way, you don't have to be a veteran to take advantage of our services. We're here to help everybody. We love all of our Americans, even non-Americans.
Yeah.
We can help as well.
Absolutely.
So feel free to reach out. You call 813-566-REAL, 813-566-REAL. You can always find us that way and just say, hey, do you want to talk to Jason and his team
But
about
that's
real
only
estate?
if you want to have the real best real estate.
Well, if you don't want
experience.
the best.
If you want to keep it real and have the best experience, call that number.
Yeah.
If you don't, then don't.
If you don't, then just don't call. Because,
Yeah.
we can't give you the best if you don't call us.
That's right.
So, speaking of, Jay, we talk about this all the time. We practice this, but I don't think we ever verbalize it. It's really hard to be successful and help so many people if you don't have a good team.
You're only as good as your team. And, to take your business to the next level, and as you scale and as you grow, you put those pillars of support in place. Where would we be without our team behind the scenes on a day-to-day basis?
Yeah.
So anybody wanting to scale their own personal business, at some point in time, you're going to have to expand and find the right people and put the right processes in place.
Right. What a lot of business owners tell me is that in the beginning, they were scared to grow and have the team because
it's that letting go.
Thank you. Yep. They feel like, well, nobody does it as good as me. And you know what? You're right.
Yeah.
No one
ever will.
They never will. But if you decide that you can let go.
Yep.
Then you can take it to the next level.
75% is better than
took the
6
words.
feet under.
Right. Yeah. Right out of my mouth is generally 75% is good.
That's the number.
Is good enough. Okay. And then you can touch a lot more people and get a lot more done.
But you'll be surprised when you put the right person in the right position.
Right.
They're going to get better. They'll get to that 100%.
Yeah.
They might do your job better than you did at some point.
Which is what we're looking for, right? Because what's the old saying? You don't ever want to be the smartest guy.
No, surround yourself with people a lot smarter than you, for sure.
Exactly.
That's the smart way to do it.
We're trying to do that.
We're trying to work. We've worked
smarter,
hard.
Not harder.
Yes, we've worked really hard
Right.
to be a lot smarter.
That's exactly.
We've already paid the dumb
tax.
We've made all the mistakes. We've struggled so you don't have to.
That's exactly right. So if you can learn to give up a little bit, it will really pay you back.
Yeah, and I think what we're going to talk about in our upcoming segment is just what we do on a day-to-day basis, behind the scenes, to maintain that and to continue to get better,
right,
and build your business.
Yeah,
Here's the real biz.
You can't
happy hour.
just hire them and walk away. You still have to be involved, and we'll bring, like I said, we'll bring that up in the second segment. Also, later in the show, we're going to talk a little bit about the reverse mortgage loan product.
Yeah.
It's somebody asked me today. It was an agent and said, "Well, what about doing that as a purchase for my client?"
Yeah.
So we'll talk about both angles of reverse mortgages, how it helped my own grandmother, and how we're helping some of Jason's clients be able to purchase and never have a mortgage payment the rest of their life.
All kinds of good tidbits here at the Real Biz Happy Hour.
Of good tidbits. So go into the team thing, since we do have a little bit of time right now. Managing a team is not always easy because now you've been used to running your business. Let's talk about your team, right?
Yeah.
Your team. How many do you have on your team now?
We are at 34 agents, and we have some admin, ISA, and you have to have
Probably close
admin
to 40,
support.
right?
Yeah, nearly 40.
All right, so 40 people. So would you say that it's an easy thing to manage 40 people?
Absolutely not.
Right.
I wouldn't wish it upon anybody, but I love what I do.
Right. Was it an easy thing to manage yourself?
That's it. I mean, because you got to think about all the different personalities that you're dealing with.
Right.
And the biggest hurdle or obstacle is keeping them on the same page.
Right.
You got to have uniformity and you have to have good
Consistency.
processes, but you got to have a good culture too. So the one advice I would give anybody, the tip of the day, tip of the week,
Okay.
you have to eliminate that cancer early on.
Right.
You know, and you have to cut any toxicity out immediately because that will spread.
Yep. 100%. And listen, you don't have to hire people just like you. That's not
Yeah.
what Jason's saying.
Nope.
It's about a consistent culture and making sure you don't have a virus. So what is do we have time for this? What is a virus to you?
Well, they're not good, and they make you very sick, and they'll make your business sick.
Can you wear a mask to protect yourself from one in the office?
No, you can't.
No.
Yeah. They didn't make it in the lab over there in Wuhan.
China.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is something that you just cannot tolerate.
Right.
Zero tolerances. But if everybody buys into the core values and stand behind the core values, you won't have these issues.
No, exactly. So, I would agree with exactly what Jason said. A virus to us is anybody who wants to beat to their own drum.
Yeah.
And ignore the core values and just not be a team player.
I mean, the processes and systems are put in place for a reason.
Right.
And when you're moving fast and furious 1,000,000 miles an hour,
right.
you have to have that uniformity. You have to have that consistency, and you got to stay compliant.
Compliant.
And so if you can't have 40 people in 40 different directions.
Right. That you just brought up, and we can do that when we get back from the break. We'll talk about the importance of compliance within your team and how that can destroy a team as well. Here on the Business Happy Hour with Jason.
Stay tuned and come on back.
Gosh, we'll be back in just a minute with Frank the Bank Cotto at 813mortgage.com. Stay tuned to more of the Business Happy Hour 2.0. Hey, Tampa Bay, welcome back to the Business Happy Hour, the real Biz Happy Hour 2.0 with your host.
Coming back at ya.
Frank the Bank Cotto of Lincoln Lending Group and 813mortgage.com and Jason J. McIntosh, Pinnacle Award-winning team for RE/MAX. We are not messing around here. Are you ready for segment number 2?
Coming at ya.
Live.
We're talking about businesses. We're keeping it real here at the Real Biz Happy Hour. All good, all the time. Real Biz, all day, every day.
That's right. Two patriots coming to you. By the way, before we get into the segment, Jay and I both have podcasts.
Yeah, actually, we do.
We do. Now, hold on. Before we talk about that, this show can also be listened to as a podcast.
Yes, it can.
So let's say you got to run off to work right now and you're like, I got to hear segment 2 about reverse mortgages and compliance in business.
There's many ways you can do that. Right. You can go to the Real Biz Happy Hour Facebook page.
Yes, right.
They're always there. You can go to realbizhappyhour.com.
Right there.
You can go right to the YouTube channel, Macintosh Group Real Estate, and there's a section on there, Real Biz Happy Hour.
Beautiful.
Absolutely.
Or you can just go to iHeartRadio.
You can do that
as well. Which, by the way, they're all going to take you through there. But you go to any of those spots, and you can listen to the Real Biz Happy Hour whenever you want, no matter what you're doing. And if you'd like to hear an amazing podcast all about everything and nothing.
It's called The Real Mac Moves.
Real Mac Moves. Can you tell everything we do here is real?
We always keep it real.
And then
That's
if you
the
would
theme.
like a positive spin on what's going on in the political world, okay, we take the positive only. You can go to the Positive Patriots.
Yes,
Spotify.
Positive Patriots.
Spotify, Apple, and
not the negative whiners.
Yeah, right. And not the negative one. Listen, there's a lot of
Negative Nellies.
A lot of negativity out there. By the way, the Real Biz Happy Hour wants to send out our hearts to the victims of the recent submarine accident, we'll say. And those people I know you got to remember, they're not just explorers. They're not just billionaires. They are family people. They have families. They have kids. They have wives. And anybody who's ever been through a tragedy knows how terrible that is. So just a moment of silence and prayer for that family.
Our thoughts are with you.
So back to the Business Happy Hour here. Jay, we were talking.
Yeah, Frank. Lay it on me.
Compliance in business.
That's such a great word.
Right?
We have a fiduciary duty. I've dropped the F-bomb.
Oh, man.
Fiduciary duty to stay compliant.
Yep.
And that's where the consistency comes in place.
That's right.
Uniformity.
You can build
Dress right, dress, they say in the military.
What do they say?
Dress right, dress.
Dress right, dress. I like that.
You got to be squared away. You can't be a soup sandwich and be ate up.
A soup sandwich.
So on the rifle range there, if you weren't a good shot, you'd probably be walking around with an 8 and an arrow up. By the drill sergeant might have put that right on your little helmet there.
What does that mean?
Well, it means you're 8 up.
Yeah.
You don't want to be ate up.
No, you
gotta
don't
be
wanna
squared
be
away,
ate
dressed
up.
right dress.
No. So in business, these systems, a lot of people, starting business like, why do I have to have a system? Why can't I just let the guys go do it? Because you could build something for 20 years of your life.
That's right.
And one compliance mistake could wreck everything.
Well, just think about an assembly line.
Right?
All of these things working in tandem, like synchronized swimmers, if you will.
Oh, my favorite sport.
Yes, they have to be working together in tandem, consistently duplicating the same process over and over and over again.
Well, think about this. I like your assembly line thing. You're putting a car in the assembly line.
That's right.
Everything is done right, but they forget the brakes.
Yeah, that would be a bummer.
It's not going to work.
Not going to work.
Same thing in business. So don't buck the systems when your boss or employer or team leader is saying that, hey, we've got to do it this way, because there's a reason that we've done it that way and it works. And if you buck the system, it might ruin the system.
You have proof of concept at that point.
We do.
And time is your proof of concept.
Well, I like your comment, dumb tax.
Yes.
It's a great comment. It is the dumb tax, and it sounds dumb.
Because what do we do when we make those mistakes?
We pay for it.
We pay for it. We make adjustments too.
And then we make adjustments.
Yes, we go in there and fix it and make those adjustments.
Yeah. So these systems are not always put in place, because you have to. They're put in place for necessity.
Yeah.
Because we need to do that. Now, compliance can mean other things too. It could be the state. Jay and I are governed by regulatory agencies.
Yes.
And there's paperwork and compliance we have to do, and so you've got to take care of that. So running a business isn't as easy as just going out and selling. There's a lot more to it, and that's why you have to have the importance of teams. Now, Jay, on your team, I know you guys, you've got, the people who sell, right? But then you have you up here on the top.
Well, you have to have admin support, which we do. You have to have that good. So we have Monty, he's like our director of agent relations.
Right.
He's there
like management.
In place of me to help give further support when you're not.
Wait, you're telling me you can't take all the phone calls?
I can't do it all. At some point, you have to let go to grow. That's what I've done. I've let go. Yes.
That is good. And so you have to have management. You have to trust management. That's a whole nother thing. But then you can, as you grow the business, you can be the face.
That's right.
You can be the motivator. And I know that's what Jason is in his company is.
We're kind of like the maestro, the director.
Yeah. With the little, what do you call that thing?
The little stick there.
The little stick that they
little
do.
thing that he does. The little maestro.
Does anybody know what the stick is?
I don't know. We're going to work on that. We'll Google that later.
We need to Google the Google machine, figure out that little maestro stick.
GTS.
Yeah, that's it. But you are directing traffic and figuring out. Have you ever heard the saying that S flows downhill?
It sure does.
Yeah. So why are we always getting covered in it?
Yeah. I smell what you're stepping in.
Yeah. So you got to understand as the owner, like I asked Jason earlier, you've got 35 people on the team plus management. It's impossible to manage them all by yourself. So you have to trust the other people. You have to have your systems. I think we've killed the compliance thing. I think we
did. We murdered that.
We totally murdered that.
Yeah.
So viruses are the first tip in the first segment. Get rid of the virus. If people are not conforming to what you want to do, you don't want them part of the team.
It's just fair for everybody there. It's not fair to keep the virus around.
No, and sometimes
others around them.
From a business owner's standpoint, you've probably dealt with this.
You've got to quarantine them. Contain them.
Quarantine them. What happens? I'm gonna put this scenario to you. What happens if that virus is making you a lot of money? What do you do? It's a tough decision, right?
Yeah. Well, I always say it's about performance, not production. Because here's the thing. If you put someone else, think about the damage that's being done behind the scenes that you don't know about. So on the surface, it may look like, oh, look at all this production. It's the performance.
Got it. It is a performance. And with that, we're going to go into our next segment here, and we're going to talk about the performers and how would he keep people performing. And we're going to tell a story about Frank's grandma's reverse mortgage on the Business Happy Hour.
Yes.
We'll be back in just
always
a minute.
A good time.
Hey, Tampa Bay, welcome back to the Business Happy Hour. The real Biz Happy Hour 2.0, the most exciting business and entrepreneurial show with a touch of real estate that you're ever going to come across. That was Jason J-Mac McIntosh.
The realest Mac in the room.
That's right. With the Real Mac Moves podcast as well. So if you want to get extra real, it's the Real Mac Moves. And if you want to get real with us on the radio, 813-566
REAL, real.
Everything's real here on the Real Biz Happy Hour, including me, Frank the Bank Cotto. I'm really the president of Lincoln Lending Group, and I really love doing this.
For real.
For real. 4 score and many real years ago.
Yes, that's right.
That's right. God, I love this show. I love you listeners. Hey, we love Patty and Ed.
Shout out to Patty and Ed and all the listeners showing that support. We appreciate it.
That's right, Patty.
Keep
and
on
Ed.
listening.
We appreciate y'all. So, Jay, before the break, I didn't realize we were short on time, so I presented a question to you. Didn't give you enough time to answer.
We're going to circle back.
Well, I'm circling you right back. Just you turn this
Circle
bad
back.
boy. So here, what I was asking you was, from a business owner standpoint, when you have a top producer, somebody who's putting them the dollars, right? But you find out that they're a virus, that they are not following procedures, that they're talking behind your back. That's a tough business decision.
So the virus the damage that's being done, the infection,
right,
so to speak.
Infection, I like
that word. They're infecting others. And so it's not always about the production. It's more about the performance. I will take 3 kind of just steady. Let's call them steady. Steady wins the race sometimes.
Yep.
They are steady. They are positive energy. They work well with others. The clients love them. They're a great part of the team. Everybody has different goals and motivations and different monthly nuts, right?
Yep.
So not everybody has to make $1 million a month, right? So as long as they're doing their very best and they're a positive impact on the team, that's performance that outweighs and trumps production.
100%. So this morning I had a scenario in my office where there's a new add-on to the software that all 25 employees could have, but it's going to cost money added to every single monthly account, right? So take that, just like you would multiply by 35, I'm multiplying by 25, right? Mm-hmm. That's a it may be insignificant individually, but it's a significant cost.
It all adds up.
So what did I do as a business owner? I said, okay, well, people who are at this production level, all right, and I did it in a different way than most would do, get it automatically. If you're not, you can pay for it or get the chance to get it, right? Well, I had to make a decision. And going along exactly what you said, I didn't just look at the dollar volume. I looked at units. Because what can you and I tell by units?
Well, they're
working.
Yes, exactly.
Right? I mean, the guy may have only closed $1 million in business, but he had like 8 units.
Right.
Compared to the dude that has 2 million and has 1 unit. Who's the harder worker?
I'll take the 8 units.
Bingo. And I think that's
it's
what
like
you're
10
saying,
dimes or $1. Which would you rather have? 10 dimes. They both equal $1.
Exactly.
But 10 dimes represents 10 people that know 10 more people. That it's just that chain that snowball effect.
Right. And that's another reason that both at the Macintosh Group and at Lincoln Lending Group that we would rather close a loan and help somebody even if it means making less money.
Skinny mini.
Skinny mini. It's touches, right, though? You're skinny mini. Well, who's skinny mini?
Large Marge.
Large Marge.
No relation.
Can somebody guess what movie Large Marge was from? Ryan Rhino?
Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
That's right. Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
I was going to say Shallow Hal.
Was it? Oh, is it that too?
No.
She was.
Remember that movie, Shallow Hal?
That was hilarious.
Yeah.
When he saw everybody as, By the way, you made me remember Tony Robbins. He was in that movie. Remember, he helped him out.
That's right. He did.
So I got a chance. Big hands. I got a chance to meet Tony
Big feet.
A month ago. Tony
Big
did
shoes.
this. Yeah, very big shoes. He did this little presentation for a small group of us up in Michigan, only on the real estate industry. And
did you walk on the rocks?
No fire there, no coals. I walked on the mortgage rates. But Tony says, take this for what it's
What old
worth.
T say?
He said that he believes that we are going to see lower interest rates soon. So there's a saying you and I
smell
have
them
been
coming.
saying. I do smell them coming. I smell a major change to our
Haven't
industry.
we always said that what goes up must come down? We
That's
say that all the
right.
time.
I think so.
Marry the house,
Date the rate.
Marry the house, date the rate. Marry the house, date the rate. Come on.
And it's like we don't even make this stuff up. Okay,
No.
we don't even plan. By the way, guys, we don't plan for this. If you think Jay and I sit there and do this, we don't even have time to do that.
We just jump on these mics.
We do. Check 1, 2.
And the magic happens.
And it does. But it's a serious thing because we don't want you to not buy right now. It is definitely the best time to buy. Okay. You have less competition. When the rates drop, Jay, what's going to happen?
Prices will go sky high.
Yep. And you're going to have more competition.
More demand, more competition. It's the best time to buy right now to get a better deal.
But wait, Jay, can't I refi?
You can always refi. So because here, no doesn't always mean no. You're just dating that little sucker.
That's it.
You're just dating that rate for a little bit. That's it.
And we know, I'm telling you guys, things are not slowing down. And I'm sure you're seeing it. It's not slowing down.
You know, when things slow down, speed up, move faster.
That's right.
That's what I say.
That's exactly right. So another tip of the week.
So listen, we had our largest May. We did 15.5 million in May.
Wow.
36.
Hit that clap button. What
36 units.
Man.
We had our best record-setting May in production, and everyone else is, woe is me. It's so slow.
No, it's not. It is not slow.
Yeah, wake up.
And guys, I promise you, if you're on the fence right now and you think, oh, I'm going to wait for the rates, so is everybody else.
Yeah.
And you will pay more for that house.
What are you waiting for?
Right. You cannot refinance the price you paid for the house.
You only live once. Get the house you deserve.
That's right. So, and just refi, because the rates will come down. We promise that's going to happen. Oh, gosh.
Mathematically, we've already proven the point. If you reduce your principal balance up front with that amortization schedule, that math is far out going to weigh a lower interest rate.
And by the way, if you're wondering what would work for you, we don't have to take an application right now. Okay, you can talk to Jay. Find out what's out there.
Free consultations?
Absolutely. He's going to tell you, you're going to say what you need. He's going to tell you what's available and what's going to cost. And then you're going to talk to one of my guys and we're going to tell you what you're going to have to spend.
So Frank, wait a second. You've got a team.
Yeah.
You've got a mortgage team yourself.
Yeah.
And you guys do refis.
That's right.
Can't you help that same client with the refi down the road? You'll probably let them know when the right time is to refi.
That happens to
Do
be
you
my
just
job.
sit back and wait and they'll tell you when?
You don't even have to call. And by the way, when you refinance, you actually get a better deal on the refinance because we have all your paperwork.
Don't you do that cannabis lending too now?
Oh, man. Because I got high. Anyway.
See, now you got his clip.
Yeah. Now we can throw a little something in there.
There you go.
Yes, cannabis lending.
And you know what? The rates
aren't
aren't even that high.
No, the rates are not as high as you would think on cannabis lending. And it's amazing. It is everybody who's been in the cannabis industry has not been able to get loans. And now you can. There's a new product out there. So if you happen to be in the industry, whether it's commercial or residential, by the way, Jay can find you the facility for the commercial operation.
We sure can.
We can do the finance dispensary or grow or whatever you
grow house.
Grow. Not those kind.
Breaking Bad.
Yeah, Breaking Bad. These are actual facilities. So yeah, it's a great thing. When we come into the next segment, I'm going to tell you guys my grandmother's story. I'm going to tell you a story of.
I love this story.
Stories are good, right?
Is this Grandma Rose?
This is Grandma Rose. Is this Titanic? Oh, wait a minute. That was not meant to be. Grandma Rose.
King of the world.
Is she the only? That's the only Rose I've ever known. Okay.
You know, that door was pretty big. I think the two of them could have fit on that door. Or whatever they were floating on.
I think they both could have fit.
Would have had a whole different ending, huh?
Yeah, probably.
Plot twist.
Maybe a happier ending? I don't know. So anyway, we're going to tell the story of my grandma who took out a reverse mortgage at age 83.
She put it in reverse, folks.
She sure did. And it changed her life. And it just might have helped her live.
She lived that good life.
She lived a really good life.
The bank didn't count on her living to her 90s, did they?
No, they didn't.
Yeah, they didn't do their math right on that one.
And it's kind of the funny part of the story. So stay tuned to that story because I promise you it is a funny ending on how the bank did not expect that. I like this beat. What is this?
I got skills to pay the bills.
You sure do. How we doing, Ryan, on time?
220.
Man, we are loving it here. So, guys, I'm going to talk about this before we get in the next segment. You're over 55. Okay, people thought, first of all, you had to be 62 to get a reverse mortgage. It's 55 on a convention.
We like to call those the golden years.
They are the golden years, and we can save you some gold.
Yes.
Right? If you're looking to buy a house cash and you're ready to call the JMAC team to do it, and you're thinking, well, I'm going to buy this house cash. I'm not going to have a mortgage payment because I bought it cash. But you've got no cash in the bank when you do that, right? Isn't that a little dangerous?
It's dangerous.
What if I told you that you could put half the money down, keep half the money in the bank for that rainy day, have no mortgage payment, and the house of your dreams? I think
man, oh man.
Right?
Tell me more.
Tell me more. Mm-hmm. But did he have a car? No. Nobody knows the song? Come on.
Oh, yeah. Take
Come
me way
on.
back.
That was Travolta, baby.
It was.
Come on, man.
Grease Lightning.
Yeah, Grease Lightning. Sorry, I'm dating myself for Rhino over here. He's like, dude, what was that, Mary Poppins? Like, what was that? I don't know. Anyway, so when we get back in the next segment, we are going to talk about a way that you could become a homeowner, have no mortgage payment the rest of your life. We're going to tell a story of how you can help mom and dad or grandma if they're having financial difficulties because we know that inflation is killing everyone. Eggs should not be $8, okay? we can fix that problem.
And milk.
And milk and cereal. Dude, Cheerios was $6.
What's going on? That's madness.
What is going on? There's light at the end of the tunnel, guys. I'm going to throw out a statistic since we have a little more time. You're
Give us some stats.
Thinking about buying, but you're like, no, there's going to be a foreclosure boom. It's all going down.
We like to call it equity. There's lots of equities out there.
So if you don't know equity.
Tons of equity.
Equity is the reason that we had the last foreclosure boom, because nobody had equity. Well, if you have only $9 trillion of debt against all the houses mortgaged in America, and those same houses have $27 trillion of equity, you're probably not going to have a foreclosure boom.
Nope.
So that's what I'm going to leave you with. We're going to take a break. When we get back to the Real Biz 2.0, we're going to talk about reverse mortgages. And
you might throw a little HELOC on that action, too.
We could do a HELOC.
Let's bring the HELOC back.
We're going to bring it back on the
Bring it
Real
on
Biz
back. Break it on
2.0. 566 Real. Call us. We'll be back in just a minute.
Bringing it on back, Frank.
That's right. Tampa
a little
Bay.
Rhino Bernie.
That's
Birdie.
right.
Bernie, a little weekend at Bernie's. A little Rhino Birdie told us we have to step it up a couple notches on this final segment and give the listeners what they want, what they tuned in for.
He says that we have been a little quiet this show, that we need to step it up. Rhino, what do you think? Are we ready? 4.
Fire them up.
Fire them up, baby.
Here it comes. Cannabis lending.
Yeah.
Firing it up.
Well, Frank's been awful relaxed and rested after his 2 trips.
I have been.
And, we may have indulged last night at our team meeting celebrating the record-winning month. We might have had a little soiree of ourselves.
That's right.
I might just be a little wounded, but you'd never know. Yeah,
Well, speaking of good culture, that is a great culture. You got to have fun together.
It's all about
to
the
create
team
a
and
good
team
culture.
bonding. So let's talk about, I'm going to set you up, Frank
Set
the
it up,
Bank.
baby.
So let's do this. We are going to talk about smack it up, flip it, and reverse it.
Here we come. Reverse
the
mortgages.
remix.
All right, guys. Reverse mortgages. They're not your grandmother's reverse mortgage. They're not your mother's.
Tell us what your
reverse
grandmother's
mortgage.
name was, by the way.
My grandmother's name was Gladys.
Grandma Gladys.
Gladys.
Let's talk about Gladys's story.
It's probably one of the oldest names I've ever heard, by the way.
Gladys.
Okay, Gladys. Anybody know a Gladys?
It's very distinguished.
So Gladys. All right. So here's the story.
She was always glad.
She was glad after her reverse mortgage. I can
Yeah.
promise you that. So a reverse mortgage, guys. First thing I'm going to tell you, you don't lose your house. Okay, that does not happen in a reverse mortgage anymore. You can still give it to the family. You can still inherit your money. It's a non-recourse loan. Let's talk about Gladys and her story. 83 years young, Gladys decided she was stressed. All right, true story, by the way. She lost her leg. 83 years old, lost her leg to an infection. She got a prosthesis at 83 years old. There's a lot of people who have trouble with those in their 20s and 30s, right? Learned to walk again. She had a small mortgage still. A lot of expense because of the medical stuff. She was stressing, right? She was living on Social Security. She was stressing.
Very easy to deplete those savings.
Very easy.
When you've got the medical bills piling up and you have inflation, prices going up, and that Social Security isn't much.
No.
You're living off nothing.
No, really, you're not. She was literally living off cafe con leche and Cuban bread. Okay, I'm not even exaggerating.
That's not a bad living.
That's really not a bad living. At least you stay awake.
Yeah.
I love that stuff. But anyway, so here's what happened to Gladys. She was 83. We needed to do something to help her change her life. Now, listen, the average life expectancy for a female in the state of Florida is 79 and a half.
Wow.
Okay. So in a reverse mortgage, first of all, you're not qualifying by your income. They're looking at 2 things, age and equity. All right. And this kind of goes to the joke that Jay was saying, which is very real, is when they qualify you for a reverse mortgage, knowing the average life expectancy is 79 and you're 83, the bank is
The
kind of
odds are in their favor. So I got news for you. She broke the bank.
Oh, she broke the bank. Gladys broke the bank on the reverse mortgage big time. So
And
here's
it
how
wasn't the
went.
Bank of Frank.
No, it was not the Bank of Frank. Actually, she deposited into the Bank of Frank. You're going to love how this ends. So here's what happened. So Gladys takes out the reverse mortgage. Now, in a reverse mortgage, you can get up to 4 things. You're automatically going to get 2 things. Number 1, no payment for the rest of your life. Let's say you're married.
Wait a second. No payment.
No payment. None.
There you go.
Right. But people say, well, wait a minute. The bank takes your house then. Not true. You still own your house. There is no difference in a reverse mortgage and any other mortgage you're going to take out. Okay. Except for instead of you making the payment every month, the payment, just the interest, gets deferred to the principal balance. So if you start with a principal balance of $100,000, let's say, because you paid off something or borrowed money, and every month your interest is $1,000, well, it's going to go up $1,000.
They're tacking it off on the end.
The math isn't perfect, but this is how it works. So that's number 1. No payment the rest of your life. Now, if your husband dies, you still live in the house. No payment for the rest of your life. You still own the house. All right. When you're gone, if that house has equity, same as any other house, it goes to the family. They can buy the house, they can refi the house, they can sell the house.
Or if the numbers don't make sense,
they can give it back. So this is where it went. This is how Gladys broke the bank. Okay, so Gladys and her reverse mortgage.
She didn't need the pips. Gladys and the pips.
No, she did not need the pips. I knew that's the one I was thinking. So here's how it works. So you can get the 4 things, right? No payment, everybody gets. The second thing everybody gets is a home equity line of credit after the 12 months. They open up a line of credit for you and make it available. They did that for Gladys. I'm going to give real numbers. When she closed on the house, she got cash out. That's the third thing you can get. Equity line, no payment, cash out, right? The fourth thing you can get is a payment to you, basically like an annuity based on the equity or house for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
All right. Life and your husband's life or wife's life. So Gladys, here's what she got. $30,000 the day of closing. Bought herself a Toyota Avalon. Okay. I'll never forget. Beige Avalon, right? Not my color of choice, but whatever. Then she got $450 a month for the rest of her life, which the bank again is laughing because the bank's sitting here like, it ain't going to be that long. We're going to have to pay her $450. Then after 12 months, she got an equity line. They gave her another $25,000. You know what she started doing? Taking cruises and taking her friends on cruises and living her life.
Living the good life.
That she never got to live before, right? Remember, she's been retired for 20 years. She rolled cigars for Have a Tampa for 45 years.
That's an amazing story.
Crazy story, right? So
down there in Ybor.
You got it. Fast forward to her age of 93.
Wow.
Gladys lived 10 extra years.
I just love this.
Can you imagine the bank over there? They're like, oh boy.
Those actuaries are getting a little anxious.
So that's what Jay just said. That's how they figured out is an actuary table. So they gave her all this money because they're like, we're not going to have to worry about this. Well, good and bad. Gladys lived a very long time, an amazing, happy life. No mortgage payment, had money in the bank, had money coming in, had the equity line. Everything was great, right? When she passed away, sad day, of course, the reverse mortgage company gives the family 3 months before they call the next of kin to see what you want to do. They give you a bereavement period. Very nice. They called us and they said, what do you want to do? I said, well, it looks here like the house is about 100,000 underwater because this all happened after the downturn, right? This was the mid 2000s. So the house is about 100 grand underwater. Okay. We called them. They called us and they said, what do you want to do? We said, what are the options? They said, well, it's 100 grand underwater. Unless you want to pay 100 over what it's worth, you can just sign the house over to us. And I said, what? So we signed the house over to the bank. No recourse. Watch this. When Gladys passed away, she had almost 200,000 in her bank account.
Wow.
Guess where that went?
Yeah.
To the family.
There you go.
Right? Oh my gosh. So the segment's about to end. So the ending story is no recourse. We got to get our inheritance. She got to live the greatest 10 years of her life.
So whatever you got, if you got a grandma, Rose, Marge, Gladys, Bertha, whoever your grandma is, you want to show them some love, or grandfather, show them some love and give back and let them live their golden years.
That's it. And the family can buy the house back for 5% under value. We'll talk about that later on the Real Biz Happy Hour.
Fourth and final segment?
It is. It's over. I'll see you next week, Jay.
Oh, man. We are out. What a great time. Thanks for listening.
Thank you. We'll see you next week.
Dang, you got still an extra 6